Beans, and today I am reviewing Amazon Prime Studio, whatever the fuck's, interpretation of Fallout, the video game, in their new television series. Wow, what an awful way to say that I'm reviewing the Fallout TV show by Amazon. Hi, I'm Emmy Beans, and today I'm reviewing Amazon's new Fallout show. Yay! It's based off the video game, obviously. If you don't know the video game, then you're pretty much in the same boat as me, because I very embarrassingly, and I know this is, I know you're gonna be so upset when I say this, but I've been upfront since the very beginning. I've only played Fallout 76. I know, please leave me alone about it. I was just in a multiplayer mood at the time when it was coming out, and I really wanted to try a Fallout, but it felt like it was too far gone to do New Vegas. Obviously, I don't feel like that anymore. Can we just move on? Anyway. Do you think Josh Sawyer would be mad at me if he knew I said that? I do want to say, though, that I know an even more embarrassing than only having played that one bad version of this series, Fallout 76. I know embarrassingly more than I should only having played Fallout 76. So you're not in terrible hands. You're in crazy hands for sure during this review. Probably unblended concealer hands, you know what I mean? But let's begin. I didn't like it, but I was like weirdly compelled by it. Like, I think you should watch it. It's weird. It's like one of those shows that you know it's just gonna get better. But this season was really, I don't know what it is lately, but everything is such like CW writing. Like everybody, there's no like true villains. Everybody's gotta have like, I don't know, like you can just see every plot beat from a mile away. And it's like, I'm not saying unpredictability is the marker for a good story, but I don't think I should know exactly what somebody's gonna say before they say it every single time. I think a lot of the sets kind of just like, maybe this is just a problem with HD, but they felt very sound studio-y, sound stagey. But I think that could have worked for Fallout. Like, I think if they had gone a super stylized route and played up aspects of the, like, campy aspects of the video game and went, like, just doubled down on really anything, I think that could have worked. That kind of, like, almost uncanny aesthetic that sound stages can have if you're not careful. But it doesn't get there. Like, nothing is, like, that over the top. Sometimes quite often, they'll dip into that, like, retrofitted 50s slang, like that really, like, oh golly gee, whatever, you know what I mean. That 50s kind of slang that is representative of, like, the time period, like, the world is stuck in, right? So they'll dip into that and then they'll dip right out. Like, they'll just, like, splash it in, but then they'll draw right back and everyone's just talking normally. I was about to say like you and me, but then I'm like, I don't talk like a normal person. I can barely get a sentence out. So they talk like normally, probably like you do. And it's really disorienting, because I'm like, I really want like a really crazy lived-in world, and it really does feel like Fallout Riverdale version, down to like the casting. And I love Ella Purnell. I actually, all of the actors charmed me. I think they should all stay on. Walton Goggins, hello. And what reinforces that like CW vibe I get from all of like the casting decisions and kind of like the writing style, maybe not the acting, but like what the actors were given to work with, it's kind of like, I don't want to give anything away, but there's sort of like a CGI situation to make certain people look younger in flashbacks, and there's also like a choice to not use the same actor for certain. It's just very strange. Like, there's just a lot of choices in this show, and I think that were made kind of half-heartedly. Again, going back to like not doubling down on anything, not going over the top enough. The gore doesn't even feel like gory enough. It feels like Spirit Halloween when it does happen. But I think that's just because maybe the humor is so childish, and not like in a goofy fart joke fun way, but like in a like childish, like, first draft kind of way. I don't know what it is, but it's also, like I was saying before with the casting, Ella Purnell, all of, you know, I forget Maximus's name. He's masquerading as Titus in the show with the Brotherhood of Steel. Yeah, those that have seen it, you know. I'm trying to stay away from spoilers. So, I think they're charming actors. I obviously love Ella Purnell. She's the voice of Jinx in Arcane. Love her. I loved her in Yellow Jackets as Jackie, but the writing isn't meaty enough. So usually, like, a lot of times, her character is just, like, standing around, like, doe-eyed as things happen to her. She's the protagonist of, like, 3 main storylines that are kind of going on. It's a tritagonist? Is that what? Whatever. You guys know what I mean. Oh, 3 protagonists. She is coming out of a vault and has a very rigid idea of, like, morality and a very, like, black and white view of the world because her vault happened to be one of the more utopian vaults. As you know, that was not the case for all the vaults, if you're familiar at all with the lore of the video games, right? So, that gets so old real quick. Like, I don't think they make it funny enough. Like, there's a lot of opportunity for humor in that, like, in capitalizing on someone's naivete in, like, a really dark world, in a dark apocalypse world. And I there's, like, certain jokes later on where her and another character, the Brotherhood of Steel guy that I was referencing earlier, I think there's a bug in front of the camera! What? The Brotherhood of Steel guy I was referencing earlier, there's, like, kind of, like, sexual tension between them midway in the series, and they address that in a very, like, matter-of-fact way that's supposed to represent, like, how she was educated, and he, meanwhile, about sex and stuff, and he was, like, super repressed and yada yada yada. And I know they very blatantly were trying to play that for laughs, but the scene played out basically like how I just described their characters to you. It was like that, like, on the nose, kind of by the numbers, basically explaining to the audience, like, oh, she's super brisk about sex and super blunt, and he can't get a word in edgewise and doesn't know what a boner is. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the vibe, and it's like, that could be fun, but you have to, I think, like, because it's such a low-hanging fruit type thing in this situation, you really need to elevate it somehow, and they just never get there with any of the jokes, and I do feel like the kind of, a lot of the satire, I feel like, is a lot of the sardonic humor is lost. I feel like that the dark humor that I experienced is lost. Am I wrong? I don't know. That feels like it's a larger part of the Fallout series, but even the way the Fallout show, going back to that, was shot, and just super boring. Like, I don't know why. For the most part, I don't think I should be bored looking at a post-apocalyptic world. But, you know, I think the characters were super, their motivations were super nebulous. Like, yeah, you could literally tell me what everyone wanted, but, like, they don't make logical sense. I just didn't believe half the motivations. It was very, oh my god, baby's first fantasy story type thing. You know, just, and again, going back to, like, unpredictability is not indicative of a good story, but I shouldn't be able to write the whole series based off of the first episode. I mean, maybe that's great screenwriting. I mean, I think, but do you know what I mean, guys? Do you know what I mean? I just don't, I think the thinness of the characters needed to be balanced out by something else. The thinness of the setting could have been balanced out by more fleshed out characters. Maybe it wouldn't have felt as explainy if they had just, maybe it wouldn't have felt as, like, rushed or explainy or, like, on the nose if we didn't have the 3 divergent storylines. There's also a flashback kind of sequence that is pretty, in every episode, basically, there's, like, half of it is, like, told through half the story is like told through flashbacks, and I'm just not crazy about that type of storytelling. I think it can come off very lazy sometimes. I think a lot of shows have come to almost like rely on that for like twists and turns, especially when there's like a time split thing. But a lot of times, and in this show, it just raises more questions than answers. And not like fun mysteries either, because I will say, like, I finished the series. And like I mentioned at the top, I think you should go watch it. It was enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to the second season. I don't know what it is about it. Like, the heart of it is just so compelling. But, see, I lost my train of thought. I don't even know. Maybe you shouldn't listen to me. But you should go watch the show, and then tell me if you get what I mean about, like, there's that nugget of, like, there's something there, but it's not clicking 100%. I feel like they felt like they needed to shove a lot of references in. A lot of settings, a lot of touch points to appease fans. And now that they know that they're gonna have a second season, at the end of like the series finale, there was like a little flash forward, like a preview, a cartoonish kind of animation showing New Vegas. So pretty heavily implied that the next installment in the series is going to be taking place in New Vegas, which will for sure feature a ton of touch points for fans of the series. For a lot of people, I think New Vegas, I mean, if not everyone, I think New Vegas is considered to be the best Fallout game, so you should definitely play it before the next one. I really meant to play it before the show was released, but I'm kind of like, I don't regret not rushing to do it. I mean, I'm sure once I play Fallout, I'm gonna be like, wow, I should have done this sooner, but, you know, can't tell me nothing. Anyway, if you enjoyed this and you'd like to see me naked, you can see my links below. Otherwise, I'll just catch you next time. I play the bass in a swimsuit every other day during the work week, and I'm on live playing video games on Twitch the rest of the night, so bye!